What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. In today's episode, we are going to be replacing the wear ring on the Seadoo Spark. Alright guys, so as stated, we are going to be continuing the Seadoo Spark series and fixing some of the shortcomings that Seadoo had, making this a low-cost budget ski. Now, to give you a little bit of background, the other day I was on the lake, I was testing this out for the first time. You know, I had to do that stupid wheelie thing. I think it's ignorant, you know, doing one of these, and a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. Yeah, so I had to try it, and I was in an inner little cutout area of the lake, and then I had a fishing person come past me and look at me like I was ignorant, and I kind of felt ignorant. And so I tried to cut through a little cutaway around the back corner so I wouldn't be seen, and I sucked up like a stick or something. I felt a thump, and lo and behold, I couldn't get across the lake more than 4 miles an hour. That sucked. And I didn't know what was wrong. I tried to get to the dock and feel underneath it, feeling the grate. I couldn't feel nothing stuck in it. And then I was able to actually get it out of the water, get it underneath the ski, and look at it and see that it had no wear ring. And I thought at first maybe I screwed up and maybe the jet pump moved back. But that wasn't the case. It was very much so that the wear ring literally ripped out. And to give you an idea of what happens, let me share with you now what it looks like. So going in from the back, you'll see that obviously we have our RBR, or our reverse gate. Going back, you'll see the pump here. And then what you're going to see is a big, large gap right there. Now, that's not supposed to be there, obviously. In any jet ski, you wouldn't want your impeller just sitting like that, right? Well, that's because the typical wear ring is a simple piece of plastic, and it has no aluminum housing like almost 90% of other ski in the world. And essentially what happened is the stick went through it, ripped it out, separated it, and knocked out this pickup tube for the cooling system. So it was overheating, and it wasn't going over 4 miles an hour. So that was a lot of fun. But we have a replacement today, and the replacement's going to fix the problem that Seadoo created. And the fix is a stainless steel wear ring that should have been there from the get-go. Now we're going to go ahead and install this. Hopefully this fixes the problem. Now I am not going to put an aftermarket impeller. A lot of people will do that. But there are some people that talk about how the stainless steel just ends up tearing up their impeller. So the reality is I would rather use the original OEM impeller with the new wear ring just to see how it does. And then if down the road I decide I want to add a Solas or something like that, I can add that. But for now we're going to use the OEM impeller if it's in good shape. And this. That said, let's start getting into this thing and breaking this thing down, get that jet pump out. Alright, so getting into it, the first step that we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the negative on the battery cable. That is on this side right here. Just simply take out the bolt, pull it off, set it to the side. We're good to go. And the next step for me is I have the IBR, so I have to remove the reverse gate. It's pretty simple. You have to disconnect the IBR control arm right here. It's a 13mm bolt, and then you'll have two 13mm bolts on the lower side that should pull this whole shell right off. Alright, and with those 3 bolts out, we should be able to pull this thing right out. Set it off to the side. Now it's time to move forward. We got some more bolts to take out. And I will be starting with the steering wheel bolt. It's a 10mm bolt, and as a 10mm nut, it should slide right out. Next, we need to take off the mounting bracket for the IBR system if you have IBR. If not, you can take out the rear bolts and take the entire basically pump out. There's 3 of them. There's one there, there's one in the back, and there's one down there. If you don't have IBR, just take those out and pull the whole pump assembly out. If you're not having to replace the impeller or anything else, you can pull it out together. Unfortunately, if you have the IBR, you can't get to any of those bolts, not even the exit nozzle bolts. So these 4 bolts on the side here have to come out. Alright, so I will tell you, getting out these 2 side bolts here, especially on this side, is kind of a pain. You need an oddball size 13mm, probably about 1.5 inches long. If you have a longer one that's typical size like this, you have to basically come in from the back like that and then take the bolt out this way. It's not very easy, and so what I've chosen to do is kind of skip that part. I got these 2 out, but I know that's going to be even harder with the IBR system over here and a couple other things sticking out. I went ahead and used 2 wobble sockets. I don't know the actual term for them, but they give you a little bit of leeway, as you can see right there, just enough to offset it to get it to come off. And it seems like that should work, so I'm going to try that. I'll let you know how it works out. Alright, so that method has appeared to work perfect. One thing to note, you know, this was disconnected already because the impeller ripped it out, but you guys will probably have to disconnect the hose here and pull it off this plastic piece. This shouldn't come out of here. I'm going to have to silicone this back in just to be safe. But moving forward, I don't believe there's any bolts coming through the grate holding it in, so this thing should pull out one way or another. Yep. And there it is. So there is our pump. There is our factory impeller. Now look at that, it's even got the sticker still on it. That's interesting. There's part of our old neoprene seal. A few other pieces of it right here. So we'll get this all cleaned up right now, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get the stainless steel wear ring ready to get put on. All right, so inspecting the wear ring and its distance or gap around the inside of the impeller, it looks really good. It's a nice tight fit, just like it should be. So we're good to go there. I'm gonna go ahead and simply take the wear ring off. I'm gonna place it where it belongs, which is up here, like so. Fits nice and snug like it should. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna deburr some of the edges here. I can see there's some edges that are rough that'll help reduce some of the cavitation it might have. And then I'm gonna go ahead and slide everything back together. And that should be it. Alright, so I'm getting ready to slide this thing back in, but I want to show you guys, I am using Permatex white thread sealant. This is what the manufacturer uses. It's not too hard to get out, but it works pretty well even on high temperature situations. And again, usually when you take your bolts out, you'll see like a white or a green with most manufacturers. This is the stuff. So I'll put a link in the description below if you guys need that, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this thing back in right now, and there's no need for you to watch that. I'll just show you what it looks like when it's done. Sorry guys, I just realized that I had that in there backwards. Your neoprene seal should be back on this side. It's actually what's going to hold this jet pump in place. One other thing I wanted to point out too, when you're sliding the jet pump in there, you're going to have to get underneath this and grab that drive shaft with your hand and put it into the hole, obviously, that's in the impeller right here, because it's not going to be lined up. So you're going to have to kind of wiggle that. You're going to have to probably get down on a creeper like I got here and just kind of wiggle into place. It's not bad. It just takes a minute to get it lined up, and then you should be good. Alright, so getting this in, you're going to want to install the neoprene lip, or seal, on the side that actually has the lip right here, and that lip is going to go inside the seal, as you'll see I'm doing right here. I'm just kind of getting it over with it. That has to go all around just like that before we fit that back into the ski. Alright guys, so in putting it back in, it's proven to be really difficult with this aftermarket ring. It keeps moving around. I can't get it lined up well, and I don't want to force anything in. So I've decided to just take it all apart. I'm taking off the exit ring before I put everything back together. A typical jet pump, the wear ring is built into the actual pump. You don't have to worry about it separating. With this not being like that, it's kind of a headache. Plus, number two, it's an aftermarket part, so for some reason it didn't fit right. I don't want to force things on and strip anything out or ruin the rest of my pump. So I'm going to take the rest of these 3 bolts that hold this exit nozzle on, and then I'll put the pump back together step by step. Alright, so now with the wear ring installed, I'm going to go ahead and take our separated jet pump, get that part in there, and start getting this thing put together. Alright, so basically I wiggled everything in. You're going to kind of slide it onto the drive shaft. You're going to twist it a little bit like this, wiggle it back and forth, and then it'll slide in. You'll know you're all the way in when you can feel that the back of the pump right here is seated to the actual housing on the back. Keep in mind you have a tube right here that has to slide into this piece, so kind of make sure you line that up and don't force it. If this thing feels like it's got a gap, don't force it on. This is more than likely your problem. Alright guys, so I got the pump back on as far as the main pump. I still got to put the exit nozzle on and the RBR system back on. However, I wanted to point something out. I don't think I did this the right way, and I don't think all the videos I watched are the right way, and I'll tell you why. So I realized that there wasn't 2 bolts holding the side of the IBR on. There's actually 3 on each side. You really only have to take off one side of it, and then the whole shell pops off. But it's a headache to get to, and then I realized, why sit here and fight with all these bolts trying to get to these bolts? Take off the ride plate. If you take off the ride plate, there's only a bolt there, a nut that I took off, 1 on this side, 2 on the bottom corners here, and then just these 2 caps. You have full access to these bolts and you're not fighting anything with this thing being in the way. I don't know why everybody else doesn't show that, but that's 100% easier. So if I had to rewind, what I would probably do again would be the first thing to do is take this plate off and then grab my bolts, take off my IBR system, and work it from there. I think it'd be a lot easier. You guys do who you want. I think that'd be a smart tip though. Alright, so everything is put back together now. A couple words of wisdom. First, this is the MVP tool that did everything that nothing else could. It is a 1/4 inch 13mm socket. Second, make sure to remove the ride plate before you start trying to take apart the jet pump for ease of access. Third, do not use an impact. Keep in mind that this is a very soft plastic body. If you try to take out bolts with an impact, you will strip or never get them out. Third, make sure to use some sort of thread sealant or Loctite to make sure that bolts don't come loose, especially when you're out riding. And last but not least, make sure to have fun out in the water. Alright, and that is a wrap on this video, replacing the wear ring on a Seadoo Spark. I hope you guys found this information useful and it gets you back on the water. With that said, if you did, throw that thumbs up, and if you haven't already, click the subscribe button so you can see when the next videos come out on the Seadoo Spark. Oh, and don't forget to connect your battery. I'll see you in the next one.